Hello and welcome. You listen to African States, the program that brings you the knowledge about African continent. My name is Kindama. I'm your host of today's program. In today's edition, we are commemorating the 25th anniversary since the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. What exactly is, for those who that time they were not yet born, the 1994 genocide in Rwanda was an act of violence, if I may say, or call this way, where the Hutu, which is the majority, they were in power at that particular time, and the minority, the Tutsi. So what did happen is the Tutsi went against the Hutus went against the Tutsi, the minority, and killed. They killed. I mean, the number right now they say is approximately 1 million people were killed, and then the world just watched. They didn't get a chance to come and help. The United Nations, they haven't done much in order to stop the genocide in that African country. Is sad story, sad news. I don't know exactly if we say that this we are commemorating, celebrating, or we just remember exactly what had happened 25 years ago in beautiful Rwanda. So as I said, that was at the UN and attend in the activities. Actually, this kind of activities happening in many parts of the world where where Rwandese are living, and all those who survive are coming there telling their story that would happen that time. So today we're going to hear a testimony of a genocide survivor. We are talking about Miss Beatha Uwazaninka. She's she survived that genocide. She still, even though it was this 25 years ago, but she's still something inside where she can vividly remember what happened that period of time. So stay tuned and let's listen what she has to say.
Often when you say 1994 genocide against Tutsis, people usually don't get the image, or is it something just started one night and came and killed people? But it started way long before. The killing of Tutsi in Rwanda was not just 1994. In 90s, 92, in Bugesera, many were killed. And there was a culture of impunity. It was taught in school when, I remember when I was 9 years old, every Wednesday they asked us to stand up in school. You're Tutsi, you stand up, Hutu. And myself, I remember I didn't know who I was, whether I was Tutsi or Hutu. At some point it even sounded like a nice French word for Tutsi. When I went back, I asked my mother, who am I? And she said to me, you just go and say you're Musica, which is a club. When I went to school, the teacher said, okay, from now on, when we ask you to stand up, you stand up amongst Tutsi. In our class, we were two of us. Others were shy, they didn't want to get up. And it was gradually introduced in people's mind, and the hate. And I remember we were being bullied at school. Now, even about the gender, women were being described in a way that was not very nice. In 1990, there was a newspaper called Kangura. I remember vividly how they portrayed a woman, a Tutsi woman, with a long and a big bum and a short skirt. It was an image that did not give, it was a very bad image portrayed in the media. There was Ariterium Radio, which was broadcasting 24/7 bad thing about Tutsis. Kangura, there was 10 Commandments of Hutu, which you can Google and see how it was. Tutsi we were dehumanized to the point where you felt like being a Tutsi meant something bad. It's a crime. With the time I have jumping up, in 92, I finished primary school. I went to Kigali. I had one parent. My father died way before. So my mother told me, you go to school and you'll be staying with your uncle who lived in Nyakabanda at the time. 93, everything was not good. 6 o'clock, we were not allowed to leave the house because if you get in trouble, if a Hutu person beats you, there was nowhere to go to ask for justice. They used to say, which means you will find whoever you're reporting to is the one you're reporting. So there is no way of getting justice. So there was so many things that was building up to the genocide. In 94, in February, I sent a message to my mother. I said, I will not come back this Easter holiday. I will come for July. And she was fine. So I stayed in Kigali. I was very new. I didn't even know whether left or right goes to where. All I knew was away from school and to my uncle's house. And when we heard the president's plane was shot down, my uncle seemed very worried. He said, oh, this is not good for us. And for us, we did not understand. He had 5 children, and it seemed like we'll get another president. I remember saying to my cousin, I said, we'll get another president. Why should we have a problem? On the 8th of April, that's when my uncle and his 5 children were killed. Now, they left Gwarutawura, they came to Nyakabanda because they were being persecuted way before, a few months before, and they were living in Nyakabanda, and they were killed in that place. I survived in that house mainly because my name was not on the list, because there was a list of Tutsi who would be killed, and my name was not on the list because I was a guest. I spent all day trying to figure out where to go. I was 13 going on 14. I had nowhere to go. And I stood all day thinking, should I go to Tamna where my mother was? But I knew it was going to be worse. Should I go to Gitarama where I was born, where we had those who knows in Rwanda? I was born in a small village called Ikigesi, Uzamuka towards Rugarika. So where I was born, your uncle from your father's side, aunties and grandpa, they were on one side, on your mother's side, or on the other side, and were living near the river Nyawarongo. I was thinking, should I go there? But I didn't go. In the end, I remembered where my uncle's friend lived. I went to her house. I asked her if I could stay with them. I stayed with them during genocide. But at the same time, they asked me to go every day to look for water, buying food, which put me in a very great danger. Every day I will witness a lot of murders and women being humiliated. The worst image I remember is women who were being paraded in Nyamirambo Brigade, not far from the brigade's office. They were all naked and took their clothes off. They say they want to show how Tutsi women look like. And I had to, it was very, very difficult. On 15th of April, I was asked to go to look for food at the Nyamirambo market. when I reached, someone called my nickname and say, hey, I had to keep my head down, not to be seen. When she called my nickname, I looked up. I saw this woman who was our neighbor in the village where my mother was. And she shouted, she said, you know your mother and Alfonsina, she's meaning all the names, they were all drowned yesterday. She was actually giving me up by shouting. I ignored her and I just looked away. And I said, I just left. That's when I learned that my mother was drowned in the river Nyabarongo. With the time, in other words, Nyabarongo, it's actually a river goes to Lake Victoria in Uganda, but this was used before 94 genocide against Tutsi, saying that it was a road they're going to use to send Tutsi back to Abyssinia, because ideologically, Tutsi were from Ethiopia. So therefore, they were going to send them back to the river, to Ethiopia through a shortcut. And this was a statement was said by Pref Mujise. I don't know, he was a big figure. After that, I knew that I don't have anyone left. The person I've always had was my mother, but I never had her anymore. After the genocide, I went back to, in my mind I could not conceive that she actually died. She was killed. I went to look for her. And when I reached, actually it happened in a space of 100 days, but even home of Tutsis, they were destroyed. Also, trees have grown, and it's harder to fathom how does a tree grow in 3 months, because everything happened. Everything was against. It felt like everything was against you. Everything was against us. I reached where we lived. I looked at our neighbors. They were all finished. They were killed them. And then when I got to our house where I grew up, there was no one. I sat trying to understand what was happening. When I saw a woman walking towards me, I was crying. I was half crying, and I wiped my tears and looked, approaching me. I thought it was my mother. Then I realized she was not my mom. It was a woman who was wearing my mother's clothes. I asked her very skeptic. I said, since when are you my mother? Why are you wearing my mother's clothes? And who are you? I said, well, she said without any remorse whatsoever, when they took them to the river, when they went to Bajakowaro, I don't know the word in English, but when they went to drown them, we took all their clothes and they are not going to need it, are they? At that moment, my whole body became heavy. I could not understand what is happening. I just lifted because my body is heavy, all I did, I just supported it with my arms on my head and just walked away. From there, I went to Gitarama as well, where to think if there's anybody else. Nobody. They were all being drowned because we lived near the river. Everybody was drowned. That's the journey of my survival. But it's so much that I cannot squeeze the whole story in 15 minutes. So I'm here to tell the story, and I am glad that I can be, because there's so many people who cannot share the stories. But thank you for giving me the time. Because I remember one man killing, he was actually killing 2 girls who lived in a hostel, when he says, I will kill a Tutsi, that if you survive, I repeat, if you don't become mad, you will be dumb. And even if you try to tell somebody, nobody will believe you. At some point, it's harder to tell people to actually give a person the image of what has been done to us, rape and then killed. How do you kill a family, 10 people, and then you even have energy to destroy a house? It was about erasing us from country. And at some point when I'm giving my testimony, I feel like he did not actually achieve what he set out to do, because I survived and I can tell the story. As yes, we are broken, but we are also not broken. We are still standing. That's my story.
Well, as you heard, that was Miss Beatha Uwazaninka. She's a survivor of Rwandan genocide. Terrible situation that happened that particular time. And when we had a break, I had a chance to chat with her. I asked her a couple of questions about how is she. So this is what she answered.
Can you just tell me exactly, you are one of the survivors of this genocide in Rwanda. Can you just in just a cut version of the story that you present here, how it was, because we saw on television, but as we're not there personal to see it, and we don't have that sense of the history. Yourself, you were there in the country. How was it, that moment, that period?
Well, the period was very difficult, especially for those who are being hunted, like Tutsis, and I lost most members of my family. I came close to being killed on several occasions. So, but mostly, what the difficult part is that we lost our humanity. When you feel like you are nothing but someone to be killed and someone to be hunted. So 1994, it was not a period one I would like to recall, but we have to remember it because it's what happened. It's a reality. It's my duty as a survivor to keep it alive, to keep the memory of my relatives and other people, but also to make sure that it does not happen again. As well as you might know, there is the genocide deniers. So I am a witness of what they do. I am a witness of what happened, and therefore I can only say that 1994 is a year that changed my life.
Okay.
That took away my family. Yeah.
Okay. Now, President Paul Kagame is saying that we have to forgive what happened in the past, and that we don't have to talk more about what do you call it, who's Tutsi and who's Hutu. What do you think about this? Are you yourself, you forgive what happened in the past?
I think, as you saw it on the documentary, forgiveness is personal. It's an individual choice. But as also, it depends with how you define forgiveness in terms of mass atrocity. In terms, in 100 days, over 1 million Tutsis were murdered, but not by a stranger. My neighbor, my friend, like a man who killed my mother. We were neighbors. So forgiveness, on a personal level, is different, but forgiveness on a national level, these are our neighbors, these are our friends. So what we do, we move on together, we build the country together. And in that point, if that's what it is, then yes, I have, because I will share the same office, and I will go to work, and I will have a life, I have everyday life. But I will say, and I will emphasize this, forgiveness is a must, because we would never have reached, the country would never have reached where it has reached without forgiveness. We would have been a total mess.
As the last question, I would like to know, since you left Rwanda, you ever get a chance to go to Rwanda?
I was in Rwanda, I was there for 8.5. I went back home, I felt like I needed to get in touch with my own roots. So yes, I can go back, and it's the most beautiful place you'll ever be. We have a lot of things. We have safety, we have everything that you need to look at. Rwanda is so beautiful, it's attractive. It's a country of 1,000 years, so you better go. Get your ticket. Get your ticket.
I will do that. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Beatha Uwazaninka, survivor of this genocide. As you heard when I interviewed her about how she is now, and she said that she had a chance to go to Rwanda several times. One of impressive thing that is happening right now after this genocide, the President Paul Kagame, Mr. President Paul Kagame, he is doing, amazing job in the country in order to wipe up what that happened that period. Try to make the country much better when it was before. Today, Rwanda is the cleanest country in Africa, and is doing effort to other African leaders to not to copy, but to see how they can improve the continent. I give thumbs up to Mr. President Paul Kagame, and I'm looking much forward to come to Rwanda one of these days. I have got friends who live in Rwanda, and exactly they invited me to come to Rwanda. So as soon as I've got that opportunity, I am coming to Rwanda. But first, I need to travel to other southern African countries. So, and after I'll go up there to visit you guys. But anyway, thank you very much for listening to this program, as we are always here, and next time we'll be back. Thank you very much, and I'm out.